Yeah, see, my mom, who's actually coming into town today, was
Okay.
always like the librarian at every school, from elementary to middle school to high school that I was at, and it
Yeah.
was it was rough because every time I wised off, like she would hear about it, like as
Yeah.
the sound was leaving my lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you didn't have to wait to get home to hear about it.
exactly.
Did she ever punish you right in school,
That's a good question. I don't think
or
she
did she just
actually
did she
did.
actually wait till you get home? She didn't want to jeopardize her job by hitting a student. She waited till she got home and then throttled you.
She was more of a grounder, not a hitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
were multiple groundings.
So you didn't see like outside your home very much when you were a kid.
Yeah, all my friends were still make fun of me for even like on Facebook they'll say, "Oh, I hope your mom doesn't see," because someone found a photo of like a party I had, and they're like, "Oh, I hope your mom doesn't see this. You'll get grounded again." That was like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Still funny. It's the joke that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Just keeps on coming.
Yeah.
So, how's that
So
spot?
let's talk about you. Let me interview you. Can I do that?
All right. Yeah, you can interview me.
So what are you doing with this show? Talk to me about your show because I actually want to know this.
Okay. So,
What's the whole point of Anything Goes Friday? Is it like a weird sort of like
no, it's just trying to be because the other days are very specific. So Monday is very specifically real estate investing.
Got it?
Tuesday is business strategies to accelerate your authority. So we talk about various strategies. Wednesday is the entrepreneur's journey. So we talk about people's journey into entrepreneurship, the struggles, the challenges. Thursday is a coaching day. So either I'll coach somebody or somebody will coach me. So it's getting advice and helping people.
Got it.
So Friday really is a day where I can talk to people about their business. Or if I don't have anyone to talk to about their business, like the gentleman that was supposed to be on, we were going to talk
And there's
about
me.
his book, and yeah. So then, we'll talk about a business, or we'll talk about sports, or what's going on in the world, or just anything, maybe lighten the mood a little bit. So it's much easier to have somebody on just to banter back and forth than it is to just stare at a camera and talk to people. Even though that I can see that there's some people watching on Facebook that are leaving some comments.
And then what about?
Speaking of comments, my mother just left one about my punishment for being bad. So,
Good.
yeah,
I was hoping we would get at that.
yeah, it was standing in the corner.
Really? Oh, here's my son Harry. Can I bring him in for a sec?
Yeah, sure.
Here's my intern. Harry, say hi to. Yeah, come over here. This is my intern, Harry.
Hello.
Hey, Harry, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, what's it like working for that guy?
Sorry.
Well, there's a lot of stuff. It's not fun about it,
Harry's helped me a lot with the Mevo live streaming.
Okay.
and by help he means every thing about it.
Yeah.
And doing it for.
So he was blaming you actually last week or 2 weeks ago for the problems. And
That's right.
said he was going to fire his intern.
That's right. That's him.
I don't care. I don't get paid.
I think he quit actually. He didn't show up last night.
All right. The weight room is closed, so we're pumping iron upstairs.
Okay. Good talk.
I don't know.
Anything really does go. So my question for you is, what about Saturday? Is that the Lord's Day? Why aren't you doing this
Saturday and
Saturday,
Sunday?
Sunday?
Well,
Yeah.
actually, when I first started these, I thought, okay, I'll do an hour show and it'll be easy, right? I'll just spend an hour each day doing these shows. But
Ooh, that sounds hard.
It's actually ended up being the majority of my day. So I try to get the information packages from people ahead of time, which most of them, I'm lucky if I get them the day before. So then the
Is
morning,
that a hint to me?
yeah. So the morning before, as I'm writing the intro to talk about them, I'm crafting the questions, sort of the show flow, that kind of stuff, checking all of the technology, and that takes me right up till the show time. And then after the show, I grab something to eat, and then I end up working on some other stuff, trying to do some more social media. So the premise or the big picture of the show, because you asked me what's the purpose of the show.
Yeah.
The big picture is I'm using the show to sort of as a model for the authority acceleration. So it's basically helping entrepreneurs or business owners or authors, expert speakers get seen, heard on any device, anywhere in 100 days or less. So basically in 100 days, really building their authority. So I'm doing that. So my formula is 110 100. So that means for every 1 hour of content, there's 10 hours of distribution and engagement on that content, and you do it for 100 days straight. So normally I just work with, when I work with private clients, it's just getting them to do 1 hour a week of content, and that content would be like a video or Facebook Live or something, and then we would spend 10 hours sort of distributing that content, repurposing that content, using it to help them become a #1 best-selling author, podcast, that sort of stuff. So basically I'm doing that, multiplying it by 5 because I'm doing it 5 times a week. So that means 50 hours of content creation or 50 hours of distribution.
That's
and
so
engagement.
much. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I have several outsourcers that are working on all of this. So after a show, the show actually goes and gets transcribed, and the transcription goes to somebody else, and they'll actually write a couple blogs, some notes for the web page and the YouTube page, and then it gets edited into a podcast, an audio podcast, and then it gets chopped up into various clips, and then all of that stuff will get distributed and promoted consistently, persistently. So we're just starting with the first. I'm on show 14, so I just got the first 5 transcripts back, who are going to the writer today. So then they'll start their process. The clips are already being done, so we're up to show 11 for the various clips, and I haven't started promoting those yet. And as well, the video podcast and the audio podcast will start to get done starting now. So they'll be actually editing these and creating videos and audio podcasts.
I can't believe how much you're doing. Like, it's unbelievable.
So all of this stuff is to be done within the 100-day time frame, and it's all so that every day will be so much content being distributed in a variety of different formats and a variety of different forms, and all of that is specifically designed to increase my authority in helping people grow their business and accelerate their authority, which will lead to a digital course and high-end coaching and done-for-you services. So that's the plan.
Okay, that's all very interesting. Why were you put in the corner by your mom so much, and how frequently?
I was a badass kid. I was a good kid, but I just did bad things, made bad choices. I don't know, not listening to them. They tell me not to do something, I'd do it anyway, or they tell me to do something, I wouldn't do it.
Well, so I wish to remind you that this is Anything Goes Friday, so I think in the spirit of full disclosure, you should give some specifics about what merited this type of punishment.
Well, there was this one time I lit the whole back field afire.
And all you got was to stand in the corner, or was
No,
something?
I got more than that. But
Okay.
I'll only say that standing in the corner was the best of that punishment. But
Not sitting, you had to actually stand?
Stand. So yeah, that's one of the worst things I did, I think. That I got caught doing. I actually told my parents some of the stuff that I never got caught doing.
Yeah.
After the fact, yeah. So there's this one time I had, I think I was 16 or 17, and my dad had a Dodge Ram truck, a step side. It was black with red stripes, and you know, at the bottom of your vehicle you can have that rock guard. It's the same color, but it's sort of rougher, and it's, you know, for, I don't know, maybe you don't have it in the U.S., but especially in the areas where there's a lot of salt,
Yeah.
it adds a lot of protection to your vehicle. So it was only a 2-wheel drive, but I decided to take it off-road. And I was taking a shortcut from the store. I went the back way, and I wanted to get onto the highway, and I had to go down a ditch and back up. And but there was a trail there. People had done it before, so it was no big deal. But when I was going down, there was a guardrail, and I scraped the side of the truck right where the rock guard was, and there was a big, like, blatant scrape. And I got home, it's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna say. So I pulled out in front of Dad's garage. So I started rooting around the garage, and I saw he had a bucket of tar, and fortunately his truck was black. So I put a little bit of tar on the spot, and then I threw a bunch of sand on it to give it that texture, and then I put more tar on it. So then you really couldn't tell that I had scraped the truck.
Right.
So yeah, I told him that one, you know, 10 years ago. I ended up telling him that I did that.
Which was 20 years later or something?
Yeah. So it was well past the
statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations, yeah. So they couldn't put me in the corner for that one.
That's pretty clever, though. That takes a lot of planning and resourceful thinking.
And there's also, I don't know if I told him this one or not, but I'll tell it anyway, because what's the worst they can do right now?
I don't know. Shirley could still be on.
Yeah, well, she is on. She just told me he has also 2 brothers, and they all had their days too. So
She's sticking up for you.
yeah. So my dad just bought a brand new truck. It was just one of the small Ram trucks. You know, one of the smaller ones, not the big half-ton, but a smaller one. It was like 2 or 3 days old, and they ended up going away. So I had it, and I was actually bouncing at a bar at the time. And I ended up drinking too much, and my friend had to drive me
On the job?
Yeah, I was drinking on the job as a bouncer.
That's impressive right there. I like how you just glossed over that.
So drunk. This is when I was working at the Kingsway in Windsor, and
you know what? I think you're growing your authority right now.
My friend actually had to drive the truck, so he was driving me, and I got sick inside the brand new truck, and I got a stain on the passenger side. At least I wasn't drinking and driving. So then my dad was coming back in 2 days, so I had 2 days to get the puke smell and clean the truck out. So
did you resort to the tar?
Religiously, no, I didn't use the tar, but there was a lot of pine fresh and a lot of scrubbing and every Febreze, whatever else I could use.
Yeah, anything.
And he noticed that I did end up lying to my dad. I told him that I spilt. He wanted to know what the stain was. I said, "Oh, I spilled some pop."
Well, you did spill something.
Yeah.
It just came out of your esophagus.
No, Mom, it was the white Ram 50 that I'm talking about. She said it was a Datsun. I said, no, it was a white Ram 50, the white one with the black stripes.
Like it matters. I mean, come on, don't split hairs.
Yeah, exactly. So,
my older son, not Harry, who was here before, but he totaled Pearl's car 24 hours after he got his license last year.
Oh, we're talking about a couple of accidents. So I had just got my license not too long. I hadn't had them for very long, and I was going to my friend's place, and there was an intersection where it's sort of where almost like 3 roads sort of come together, and there was a middle triangle that was just like a middle piece of land where the road sort of went by. And anyway, so I was following my friend. Maybe I was going a little bit too fast, but maybe there was a large semi truck coming towards me that was, and these are narrow country roads, so it was
don't mitigate
on my side of the road a little bit. So I went over to the shoulder, and when I cut back onto the road, I cut too sharp, and I actually cut right across the road. I slammed on the brakes, and this is an area where near that triangle where the road and the land is all on the same level. So I skidded right across, and I ended up putting the truck right through somebody's window, house window.